Hi there, this is Nikki ROwland and today I'm designing a layout for Bramble Fox. I'm using one of the new sets to the store called Dino Mite and it contains a cute title that says "You are Dino Mite" and it has 4 very cute dinosaurs in the set as well. So 2 in kind of lime green and 2 in turquoise, and the title's in turquoise too. So it's a really great set. It's really cute if you have boys who love dinosaurs or girls who love dinosaurs, but basically dinosaurs are where it's at today. So I have 3 photos here that I'm using for this layout of a day that I took my 2 little boys to dinosaur afternoon tea, which was great because there were dinosaur shaped biscuits and we've been on a dinosaur trail and all sorts of things, and what a great day it was. So obviously these photos are worthy of scrapbooking, and this little set from Bramble Fox is exactly the thing that I needed. Okay, so I have made a background just with white cardstock. I've stuck it onto a kind of lime green yellowish background. It's just a border going around the edge of the layout, and I've used marshmallow cardstock because I wanted to create some mixed media underneath where my 3 photos will go. So I am using a number of colours by Bramble Fox. I will list them below, one of which is called a hint of, sorry, not by Bramble Fox, by Shimmerz. One of the sprays that I just use is called Hint of Mint, and the other 3 are harder paints. They're like Creameez or Inklingz, and they have some really lovely colours, really intense. So I'm just applying those using the packaging technique, and I'm adding water as I go as well, and using a paintbrush to spread the paint around. I'm also going to add in some flicks of paint in a minute. I just wanted to wait until some areas of my paint are a little drier, because the reason for that is I want the flicks to sit on top of the paints rather than blend in. So you can see there I've got my area of colour, and I'm just going to dry it quickly with a heat tool. It doesn't need to be completely dry, it just needs to be touch dry, and then that way I can add the flicks of paint and they will sit on top rather than blend in. So there we go, you can really see how they are sitting on top of the paint there. I'm literally just going through and adding the same colours on top of the colours that are on the background. So the lime green one over the lime green area, and the navy blue over the navy blue area, etc. So there you go, I've got lots of splatters going on there, and I have this large area of mixed media where I can add my photos on top, and I won't see much of this mixed media. I'll see a small amount poking out from behind my photos, but that's what I want, that's how I want it to be. So as soon as that's dry, I'll be able to add my photos. Oh, actually, before I do that, I've decided to go really out of my comfort zone and add some stamping. I'm not very good at stamping. It never seems to look right, but I'm trying my hardest to use some stamps every so often, just to, you know, be a bit different and do something that I don't really like, or that I'm not that good at. So maybe practice makes perfect and all that, yeah. Yeah, so I've added a number of stamps in there. They're just kind of texture stamps that give different, you know, a bit of extra texture, that's all. And I've just added a piece of pom-pom trim, which I love at the moment, along the bottom. My photos will kind of sit on there, so I've kind of created a shelf. I really love the fact that you can see my stamping poking out from behind my photos and it's sitting on top of the mixed media. It looks really good. I couldn't be happier with how that turned out, actually. I think in the end I end up covering up quite a lot of it, but you know, that's the way it goes, hey. So now I've got my pom-pom trim in place. I stitched a line of stitching across it. I did stick it first with tape, but I've also run through with some black thread just to make sure that it will stay in place. I just mounting my middle photo onto a piece of navy blue cardstock, and I've got a few other little journaling cards going on from that Vicki Boutin cut apart sheet of paper there, so I thought I would use some of those too. Just to add some colour and detail behind my photos, really. I like my photos to be mounted. I quite often like to have paper layers behind a photo stack, but I didn't want to cover up too much mixed media, so I decided to mount each photo individually there rather than have a whole bunch of papers behind the whole lot of photos. That's worked really well, and it means I can kind of tuck them behind each other, and yeah, I can position them exactly where I want onto, and I don't have to worry about all the other papers behind. So literally 3 journaling cards, and I've mounted my 3 photos. So you can see that, and it's all sitting on my shelf created from my pom-pom trim. And now I just need to go in with some embellishments. So I have these Vicki Boutin hearts from that fantastic heart paper Color Kaleidescope collection, I'm just fussy cutting a few of those out. I got a bit carried away. I thought I was going to use loads of them, but in the end I only used about 4. We've been on a kind of like a field trip, if you like, out exploring, so I really liked the idea of including a couple of pencils and a pen. They were in the ephemera, in the Vicki Boutin Color Kaleidescope ephemera, and I thought, when am I going to use those? But as we've been going around all day making notes and finding things and checking things off, the pencil and the pen worked well here. I think the pen ended up being too big, so I ditched it, but the pencil's in. You can see it just behind the dinosaur. I have added an arrow there that is from the Vicki Boutin piece, the sticker sheet, I think, and I just wanted to give it an outline, so I've just gone around it with a black pen to give it an outline. So you can see my cute little dinosaurs are making an appearance now. Just added some tangles of thread behind my left photo, and adding the hearts on. I've got a llama sticker there because, you know, why not? Pencils going in, you can see the pencil going in there, and then I can now start to add my dinosaurs in. So I love the fact that this set has dinosaurs facing both ways. In theory, perspectives could be used either way around. However, these cute little dinosaurs have some details on their faces, so that's only on one side, of course, not the other, and therefore they need to be used the right way round. I love the fact that you've got 2 different, they're facing 2 different ways, because I like my animals, or any kind of ephemera or people or things, arrows, that kind of thing, needs to be facing into my layout, not like it's about to walk off the page, right? So the fact that they're the right way round, or 2 different ways around, mean I can have them on either side of my photos, and they can all be facing in towards the layout. So that is something that makes my heart happy. You can see I've got I've got 4 dinosaurs on this layout, plus the "You Are Dynamite" title. And they are all stuck in place now, and I'm just fiddling around adding in some bits and pieces of ephemera. I'm really trying hard to get this Vicki Boutin collection used up. I had a whole bunch of it in a kit, and I'm just trying to make sure that it gets used. So I'm going through and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what I can use, and I've pulled out a couple of birds. I generally don't like birds, but we'd been outside all day, so therefore birds are fair game, right? So that's kind of how I see that. I've just put a tab at the top of the photos, and I'm just going through adding in some kind of silvery hearts and stars, all from the chipboard sheets. I've got a little cluster down the bottom, which is from the stickers as well. I've got the stickers and the thickers, as in the phrase icon thickers, yeah, so I'm just kind of getting everything stuck down, adding in last details, bits and pieces, to make my layout nice and busy, which is my style. So just nearly done now, just handwriting in some journaling, just a little note about what we did that day. It was such an awesome day. Okay, so that is me done. I'm going to call it done there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this layout. I will list the details of the products that I've used down below in the description. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. That was Niki ROwland for Bramble Fox.